Hey guys, it's Abby. Welcome to my channel. If you know me, you know that I'm obsessed with Katseye, as you can probably tell by the amount of videos I now have about them on my channel. A year ago, the final lineup for Katseye was revealed after fans spent months voting for their favourites to debut. The 6 chosen ones were Sophia, Lara, Yoonchae, Daniela, Megan, and Manor. Now it's been 6 months since their debut EP Sis dropped, which debuted at 119 on Billboard 200, and it's been 8 months since they officially debuted with Debut.
Love me once, I know you'll love me twice. Love me once, it's time to roll the dice.
So in this video, I mainly want to talk about how truly insane their debut era has been, but I also wanted to add in my interpretation and analysis of some of their EP songs, and also what I hope for them in the future. So this is just a big video so I could yap about Katseye and how much I love them, okay? Okay, so after waiting a whole bloody year since their survival show, Dream Academy, ended, the 6-member girl group burst into the music scene with their debut single, Debut, on June 28th. Despite many people still thinking and perpetuating the idea that Debut was not their debut song, just because it has the line, "It ain't a debut," in the lyrics. Seriously, you don't know how many times someone responded to me saying that Debut was their debut with the lyrics say, like, Lord, do we have to welcome back Shakespeare? I can't believe that a simple phrase has convoluted what Katseye's debut song was. Like, what the fuck? It actually pisses me off too much. But for literal proof, they celebrated their 100 days since debut. 100 days since Debut dropped, okay? So therefore, their debut was, what? On June 28th. Okay, thank you. Now we've all got that out of the way. I'd best not see no comments. Oh, actually, you're wrong. They've also had multiple interviews where they state that Debut was in fact their debut. So I don't know why we're still doing this fucking discourse. Enough. When I do my little analysis of the debut lyrics, I will state what I actually think this lyric meant. But before we get there, please note that I do not claim to be an expert in lyric analysis or analysis of any sort. I'm just simply a girl. I'm simply a girl making YouTube videos on her hyperfixations, and Katseye is one group that's really captivated me in such a way that I have never been captivated before. As someone who, I've always been a really creative person. I've always been really into performing art, writing, acting, singing, dancing, drawing, painting, anything art based I loved, and Katseye has really, like, I don't know what it is, but they've really like lit a fire under me. Like, they're just so, when I sat down to write this script that is 8,000 words, oh my god, when I tell you the fucking ideas were just shooting out of me, I didn't even think I could still write like this anymore, because like my brain cells, guys, trauma does a lot to your brain, you don't understand. So the fact that I could even write about them in this way makes me so happy, and like I'm just gonna keep supporting them because they're impacting my life and my brain in such an interesting way.
Make some noise for Katseye!
In order to talk about Katseye's insane debut ever, I have to talk a little bit about their pre-debut. While I'm not trying to yap too much about the actual survival show or the documentary or what happened, you can watch my Popstar Academy reactions for that, okay? However, I do want to talk a little bit about how I think Hybex Geffen was smart to set the girls up with a good base to spring off from by having a survival show. It's so terrible that the contestants were lied to about it though, and so I do wish that they were of course told, so they could have made an informed choice about whether to uproot their lives for 2 fucking years.
It's funny because when I got into this, I kept asking like, this isn't a survival show, right? And they were like, no.
But regardless, I do feel like Hybex Geffen was right to do a survival show, because had these girls debuted without it, I doubt they would have had such a steady rise despite being from Hybe, you know. And Geffen, who in their own right are quite big in the West. I did not know about them before this, however. It's like, if you really think about it, it's so interesting. Like, do you guys really know any of your Western, do you know what label they're signed to? I've got no fucking idea. The core fan base they built pre-debut works in tandem with Hybex Geffen's marketing to promote the girls. The cycle is the girls have a schedule, the fans post about it on social media, it goes viral because they're pretty and they're talented and they have great, funny, personable personalities, and then boom, more fans, more streams, rinse and repeat. I feel like the Netflix documentary was also a great idea despite the backlash and the drama that occurred, because it gave people a more rounded look on these girls. It really helped show that behind this veil of like the perfect idol, they're of course simply just human beings with human emotion. I do feel like the doc turned some people off to the girls and the whole K-pop adjacent industry as a whole. I was looking at the IMDb reviews, and a lot of the lower viewed reviews were having similar sentiments as that. But see, on the flip side, it also helped push the girls to a literal worldwide audience, and it helped them to gain followers massively. Another good thing about it being on Netflix too is that basically anyone who's ever been on Netflix is now connected to Katseye in some way. Now you can say I'm reaching, but what I'm trying to say is that they basically now have like pre-built industry connections by being part of like this Netflix family. So the funny thing is, I wrote the script before it was even revealed that Katseye had scored their first ever OST with none other than Netflix. Ali Wong actually said that they got them before they debuted, so I'm definitely not reaching, okay?
How do you guys feel about Katseye singing it?
Oh my gosh,
So
lucky.
excited.
Fortunate, blessed.
It was such a great
Yeah. Crazy because it was before they debuted that we
Yes.
had gotten them to do that song, and we're just so lucky because that was before, like, I'm not even embarrassed myself doing that. Dance. Yeah. They've been very supportive, and the song is perfect.
Thank you so much, Ali Wong. This revelation is actually really interesting to me because there is a scene in Popstar Academy where Mitra is literally like salivating at the mouth talking about how the girls have deals coming in already. It's like she can see the ching, 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 ching.
It's kind of interesting to see how many brands are coming to the table when a group hasn't even been formed yet.
And I would just have to assume that this was one of the deals that she was just so happy and excited about for the girls pre-debut, and excited for herself, of course, because ching. So after Dream Academy ends and debut begins, KATSEYE start dropping content on their YouTube channel sporadically. Starting with a Christmas video, which was a great way to remind fans that they are still here and will debut soon. It was also a great way to show the girls' connection and sisterhood, because the festive season is all about sharing love, gifts and gratitude with friends, family and loved ones. And that video really shows all of those things.
Like, we don't have 15 minutes. It's working.
One of my favourite videos that I have to mention that should have been part of the Popstar Academy documentary to show how the girls have gotten closer superficially, like they actually get along. The sleepover video. Okay, so the girls are making bracelets to exchange for each other. While making their gifts for others, both Manon and Sophia made themselves bracelets, right? Now when they go to exchange their bracelets, this is what happens.
This bracelet, I feel like it's Manon.
Girl, look.
Oh my god!
I didn't even see her. She didn't even see mine.
So
I did one for myself, and she literally.
And
you ate that up.
And you said you like the pearls, so I put 6 pearls.
For all of us.
That's so cute.
That's very cute. Isn't it Manon?
That actually is so pretty.
She's a gold girl. Of course.
Okay.
That is so cute. The way she packaged that was.
Wait, dare I open this? What?
I had some time on my hands.
She literally.
Oh! It's giving
It's
like. It's like a mermaid.
That's crazy, actually. That's like actually insane. I like didn't even see you making the bracelet.
Yeah, me neither.
Do you see how well we know each other? That's like
Wow,
crazy.
it's so pretty.
Come here.
I mean, you guys really don't understand how much this moment lives rent-free in my head, because how do you fake a connection like this? You just simply can't. You can't unless it was literally scripted, and it'd be obvious if it was, right? 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 It'd be obvious, right? If it was right, please don't take this clip away from me. Another one of my favourite KATSEYE pre-debut videos is Yoonchae's graduation, where the girls set out to surprise Yoonchae with a graduation party, and it's just so sweet, honestly, and you just see the bond that they've all started to form with their baby magnate in the centre. It's adorable, man!
We need tissue.
And then you fix Megan, please. Cheers to our debut.
KATSEYE's debut song dropped on June 28th, 2 days after Manon's birthday, and also mine. Yes, I will mention that whenever I can, okay? Debute's music video was shot in Colombia. Very random, but very cool, because what a beautiful location for this global girl group to shoot their first ever music video. Like, how crazy, how insane, how amazing for them. Now, if I had to give Debute's music video one word to describe it, it would just be fun, or weird, or interesting, but mainly fun, because it's almost like a dream, and not like this kind of like flowy, ethereal, cute dream where you're like running and frolicking through the grass and it's all gorgeous. I mean an actual dream. It has no real rhyme or reason. It's just a bunch of random scenes and they're just doing stuff and things, and like, what is actually going on? You literally start in Manon's mouth, right? Then Yoonchae is randomly dancing at a skate park with her boyfriend.
To have a little skater boy in front of you, and you're going to play chess with the skater boy.
Yo, I thought this was gonna be your chick's boyfriend.
Danny is sat on a basketball hoop. Megan is catwalking in literal traffic. Lara is catwalking through a peephole, 007 style. Sophia is killing center in the dance. The girls are being wheeled about in a shopping cart. They're randomly turning into balls, and they're hanging from a bloody building. Like, seriously, what the heck was happening in Debute's music video? But it was fun, right? Right? It was fun. And the song is fun too. Like, very girl crush, empowerment vibes. Despite it being my least favorite KATSEYE song due to its incompleteness, it's great on their discography because it's just a completely different type of vibe and concept to the rest of their songs currently. The EP is called Soft is Strong, but Debut is truly the only real strong sounding song on the EP. Also, while writing the script, I realised Sophia doesn't have a long solo shot in their debut music video at all. Any solo stuff she has is like 0.1 seconds, and I don't have to talk about how stupid the formations for Debut are, right? We all know, right? Like, why the fuck was Manon hidden? Oh, it's girl, she's the weakest dancer. Shut up, bitch. She's still in the back being hidden, dancing for her life, so There's no reason for her to be hidden other than the choreographer being Duke dog shit. Seriously, what is the reason? Chop! Look, Debut could have been a fantastic debut song, but to me it just falls short because of how short it truly is. Like the very short second verse, the lack of pre-chorus or bridge, which could have been a very much needed respite from the repetitiveness of the beat and the flow, and the lack of a very much needed and completely feasible dance break. Like the thing that pisses me off about this is that they basically already tease what a dance break could have looked like at the end of the song. So why not just stick the landing? Like what is the, oh maybe we should, oh we're not, like just stick the fucking landing. Debut is their shortest song on the EP and it is very obvious, and this is just why I simply can't rank it above any of the others because it's not a full song. Despite this, I did like Debut a lot when it dropped.
I don't need no 1, 2, 3, not bourgeoisie, I'll step in.
This line is so funny, right? Because like, what do you mean not bougie? When you're from Hype? Not bougie, girl. Like, however, you can interpret this line as them like stepping forward to break boundaries and wanting to reject societal expectations.
I don't need nobody trying to tell me how to run it.
This line and the former line reflects a strong sense of independence, okay? The girls are asserting their self-dependency and emphasizing that they can run this music thing. They can run it easy, okay? And you know what? Despite this song dropping before a lot of the discourse, I would like to think that this line is shade towards the jobless Twitter marketers who think that they can market this group better than the actual professionals. They don't need nobody trying to tell them how to run it.
I like it. It's simple as that. That's right, They like it. They keep coming back.
These lines just ooze effortless confidence, right? Like they don't need to try hard to impress others. What they do just naturally attracts attention, okay? Like from their face cards to their talents, they can do this shit easy. They make it look easy.
Wanna pull up on us, checking at the gate and come through.
Don't this give off like an exclusive kind of vibe? Like the imagery of checking at the gate kind of suggests that not anyone could just access KATSEYE'S world easily, right? To me it kind of gives off like, and I hate Chris Brown so I'm so sorry that I'm quoting him, but how can you hate from the outside of the club and you can't even get in? Or like, okay, if you have a problem with me, take a number and wait in line, bitch. Like, the fuck, get to the back of the line, ho.
I don't need no cookie cutter, perfect ordinary.
Sorry, that's actually wrong. I actually mean,
I don't need no cookie cutter, perfect ordinary.
I don't need no cookie cutter. I feel like this line is very obviously trying to reject conventional cookie cutter standards, and it's starting to strengthen this theme of owning their identity and power. I feel like this line almost embodies KATSEYE'S identity as a multi-ethnic, multinational, global girl group. It's giving KATSEYE wants to embrace uniqueness and refuses to fit into a fucking mold, and I love that for them, okay?
Love me once, I know you love me twice. Love me once and naughty times to know.
This recurs throughout the song and it plays with this idea of duality, which feeds in nicely to the soft is strong concept. I feel like it's suggesting complexity in their personas, as they can be naughty or edgy, right? But they can also switch it to a more approachable, softer side. This really does reflect the versatility of the group, and it's something shown at length in the Netflix documentary Popstar Academy. So it's quite fitting that this was the theme / opening song for the show. I know people thought something like Tonight I Might should have been the theme song, but do you see how Hype's given Loki 100,000 billion quadrillion IQ that like, I wonder if they're really thinking that deeply about it. It's still cool nonetheless. Like the main theme of this song is kind of the main theme of Netflix documentary. This whole duality and versatility of humans and emotions.
We can run it, no this ain't a debut.
This is the culprit of people thinking this wasn't their fucking debut song. I have always felt this line meant this ain't our first rodeo, bitch. Like we ain't new to this, we true to this. I feel like it's them trying to flip this concept of a debut on its head. Instead of presenting themselves as newbies or newcomers, they're claiming that they've already arrived. Like in fact, they've been here, okay? They're ready to take over right from the start, and this is proven to be a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Love me once, I know you love me twice.
Now, Debut as a song fell a bit flat to some people because, as a Redditor states, trying to posit themselves as beacons of strength for us to feel unbridled confidence is a much bigger gamble because it depends on us already feeling like we can relate to them and project ourselves onto them, which we really can't do when this is our introduction to the group. I really do like the song a little, but I suspect it's because I have a history as a fan of Dream Academy, so I have understanding of the girls and can relate to them to some degree. I'm using this specific post as an example because it's echoing a lot of similar sentiments I heard about Debut and the Debut song, and I can agree with it to an extent. So if this was your first introduction to the group, the lyrics might not have hit as hard as if you were an already established fan. Another reason some people may have disliked Debut is that some people really seem to hate or are just tired of Debut songs that are about being the best or flexing on what people would call imaginary haters, right? Because how can a group that hasn't debuted yet have haters? However, this kind of logic or line of thinking can't really apply to KATSEYE because they came from a Survivor show and so they've already been in the public eye. So the group absolutely had haters before they debuted, right? Like the group still has haters now. proud to this day. Lord. And that's why I personally feel like the wanna pull up on us checking at the gate bitch hits so fucking hard. Like truly, it actually truly hits so hard. You wanna pull up on us, check in at the gate and come through. Like, and come through. It's so fucking, it's actually so cunt when you really deep it. Like, it's cunt, bitch, they're cunt. Now, their second single, Touch, was the one that really broke through for KATSEYE. The song explores themes of emotional distance, frustrations in relationships, and moving on when someone is out of touch, both literally and emotionally. This is laid over like a dance, pop, UK drum and beat, garage, dreamy type beat. I'm not really sure what the genre is, but it's all of those things to me. As well as this, the lyrics are really quite straightforward in their storytelling. It's marketed as their softer side in juxtaposition to debute's stronger side. But to me, Touch actually encompasses the soft is strong concept a lot. Touch combines vulnerability with a sense of empowerment as the girls ultimately recognize their worth and move on from this dead situation. If I was describing this song to my friend, I would say, so this song is about them waiting for this waste man to call her back, right? And they're like, you could have had my love, but you've been out of touch, bitch. See you later. I'm out of here.
Hello?
That's literally what the song is to me. And the music video is just pretty, right? It's not as crazy or as random as debut. Well, in ways it kind of is, but it does follow the kind of haphazardness dream idea by not having a linear storyline. Like, Yoonchae is randomly missing for some reason. Has anyone realised this yet? That was literally so fucking random. I still don't get why she was missing. And if we're gonna compare Debute's looks versus Touch's looks, Debute's looks were more fun and wild. Like, those outfits were a bit more about like freedom and individuality. But regardless of this, Touch's looks to me are just more pretty and uniform. Like, they look more like a cohesive girl group. The looks also help to highlight not only KATSEYE's beauty, but kind of like the beauty of love also. Like, you're gonna say I'm reaching, but that's kind of the whole point of this whole fucking video. No, but like seriously, maybe it is a reach, but there's a reason why the looks are vastly different, right? Both the denim and the black and red fits during the choruses gained a lot of attention, and for good reason, right? Because the gag, like, I mean, I was gagged consistently throughout the whole video because they all just looked so fucking gorgeous. And it's not to say they didn't look gorgeous in debut, they did, but it's like a different type of beauty. It's so funny when you actually sit down and you actually try to think about what music means and you're not just listening to beats and stuff, because that is literally how I interact with music. But KATSEYE has made me want to interact with music in a different way. And while writing this, I realized that Touch is actually somewhat of a double entendre, right? Because like the girls are saying, I can't get in touch with this waste man I'm seeing. Like, this waste man is not ringing me, they won't get in touch with me. But it's also saying like the waste man is out of touch. Like, if you know the phrase out of touch, it just means someone is like not up to date with current happenings and things, or they're just not very smart. And like, of course that person has to be very, very stupid, very, very not smart, very, very dumb, very, very silly to ghost any member of KATSEYE, right? So like, imagine not calling any of these girls back. You're crazy, you're insane, except for Yoonchae. Yoonchae, leave Yoonchae alone, okay? Stay away from Yoonchae.
Somebody said Yoonchae marry me and I will not allow it because she's a child. Mary. No. Marry me. She is my child and you cannot marry her. I thought you were saying I love you to me.
So in the first verse of Touch, our dancing queens Megan and Danny are narrating this progression of disappointment, right?
Oh baby, I was getting bored.
So Monday to Tuesday, they're daydreaming about their crush and waiting for communication. It's kind of funny how this song skips over Wednesday, which I feel like could be seen as them getting over the hump day.
Thursday, I was losing interest. Friday, you were out there in the cold.
Because by Thursday and Friday, they're completely done.
Weekend, you already missed it. I was moving on, cause you were moving too slow.
They've lost interest and they're starting to move on, and in comes Lara's pre-chorus. I mean, this is just clearly a moment of reflection where she's thinking about their relationship under the moonlight. I mean, it's kind of like that common love or romance trope of being under the same stars or sky or moon as your loved, which helps soothe your feelings of being so far from them.
At least we have something in common. We look at the same sky every day with the different colors.
Lara's line introduces a much more vulnerable side to the song, supported by her gorgeous R&B pop type run. It also low-key foreshadows the theme of overthinking that is later emphasized in the repeated phrase. Overthinking us.
Overthinking us. You've been so out of touch. You couldn't have me love.
By the second verse of Touch, the cats are over it. Okay, they're done, they're out of here. This verse does two major things. One, they reject empty promises. And two, they realize their self-worth. Yes. Megan, Daniela, and Sophia's lines add to this empowerment element.
First you're gonna say you're sorry. Promise you won't do it anymore.
The girls have already heard these promises so many times that she can repeat them back to this waste man.
Yeah, what can I say?
Like, say something I ain't heard before.
Say something I ain't heard before.
They are literally so bored and they're so tired and they're so sick and they're so done with the games and they're no longer willing to accept the bollocks promise. Say something I ain't heard before, bitch, is literally one of my favourite lines because the way Danny delivers it is so sassy and punchy.
Say something I ain't heard before.
And the way it leads into Sophia's standout line is gorgeous, and I feel like that subtle contrast is what helps Sophia's line shine even more.
I'm too fun to waste my time. Too young to waste one night.
It's now starting to click for the girls, right? They're now starting to realise their worth and they refuse to let their time and energy be drained by someone who does not reciprocate, okay? As they fucking should. I really do love that the choreo for this line is them jumping around almost like fairies. And it's so funny because they recently dressed up as Winx. The fairy agenda has been complete. But anyways, in that line, it's just so cute because it's sort of like they're feeling free and liberated from the stress and the worries of that dirty situationship. Like the way Sophia flings her hair truly embodies that line.
So here comes some good advice. If I ever call again, don't press it.
This line reinforces the girl's decision not to tolerate being neglected anymore. The juxtaposition between Sophia's flowy, gorgeous runs that comes before and after Daniela's punchy line makes this my favourite part of Touch for me. I mean, come on. Lara's pre-chorus and Mana's chorus come in a close second and third, of course, because look at the material, okay? Touch of the song, when you really think about it, past the TikTok hand gesture dance that I love, by the way, like touch, 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 touch will be cute until the day I die. The song is really about emotional disconnect and the frustrations of waiting for someone who never really fully invests into the relationship. And it's all done to a fun beat while the girls look gorgeous and are wearing gaggy outfits. Like, no fucking wonder it blew up, bitch. Like, people are so confused, they don't get it. They will never understand until they dive deeper into what is actually happening. Like, yes, the lyrics are not Shakespeare, but at least it means something and people can relate to this. A lot of people can relate to this. Maybe a bit more than they can relate to something like Debut. Not me though, because I'm a bad bitch, and if you want to pull up on me, you can check up at the gate, bitch, and come there. Touch really cleverly combines vulnerability and reflection with a sense of empowerment as the cats ultimately realise their worth, you know? They ultimately recognise their worth and move on from the situation. I feel like this is yet another reason why Touch blew up, because despite it being short and catchy and not extra complicated lyrically, it has a great message, yeah? Know your fucking worth.
Yeah, you wanna mess it up, cause you went so out of touch. You could've had my love, but you went so out of touch. We're KATSEYE. Let's kick on!
KATSEYE is only 4 months old and already have their mini espresso song, right? The grande espresso soon come. Not yet, but come soon. Touch dropped almost a month after their debut on July 26th, a month after Mana's birthday and mine.
Hey, we get it!
The main thing that helped to blow Touch up even more was their KCON performance just 2 days after Touch dropped on July 28th. This was KATSEYE's first ever performance, and what a way to start your career. You could call this high payola, but you would just be wrong, because this was actually just the first hint of a pretty solid marketing plan that Hype X Geffen clearly had for KATSEYE. People call it payola when what they really mean is marketing. The dictionary definition of payola is the practice of bribing someone in return for the unofficial promotion of a product in the media. So when someone uses this term payola online, it's normally referring to when labels allegedly pay streaming sites like Spotify to promote their artists in playlists or the recommended skipping section. And the awkward thing is, I wrote this before it was allegedly revealed that, like every other K-pop company with the means, Hype may allegedly partake in this, but the thing is, Twitter's turned the meaning of payola into any bit of fucking marketing, but mainly Korean marketing. Every time KATSEYE has a big Korean gig, it's payola this, payola that. When they have a big American gig like Good Morning America, it's crickets. Okay, anyways, KCON was a hit for KATSEYE, right? Streams rose, and their video was the most viewed KCON LA 2024 video, bitch. So now at this point, I assume that Hype X Geffen knows that they're on the right track, okay? But they wasn't done yet, and they're not even close to being done. 2 important KATSEYE things happened on August 16th. 1, their debut EP dropped, and 2, the Myrick lyric video dropped, which helped show fans a new side of KATSEYE. This song had more vocals and a rawer topic than just love or empowerment, but of course this song still has these themes. And before I go any further, it's really important to note that the theme of empowerment is in every current KATSEYE song, okay? And if you don't believe me, just go look at the lyrics for yourself, guys.
Even if I mess it all up and make a million mistakes,
Now when it comes to Mari, to me, it's so funny because this song is actually the reason why I wanted to do a lyric analysis, because if you watch my Mari reaction, you saw how much I bawled and I cried. And I really tried to dissect, even after the video, I really tried to understand why it hit me so hard. It was of course the lyrics, it was the video, it was everything. And so I will begin to spill my feelings to you guys. To me, this song is a bold anthem of independence, self-expression and resilience. The lyrics emphasize living life unapologetically, okay? Despite making mistakes or facing societal expectations. Even attempting to write the analysis for this was making me tear up because this song truly means so much to me and it's just so relatable.
Wake up.
It starts with Megan and Yoonchae as they narrate sneaking out, which I think is showing us how they want to defy rules. It also displays this desire for the freedom to be themselves.
My house, sometimes it gets too loud, so I wait till my girls pull up in that M3.
To me, this verse really highlights the feeling of being constrained by rules, expectations, and the chaos at home, right? You still find a safe haven and excitement in escaping with friends, and this is just something I can relate to all too much. Like, shout out to my bestie. I would have actually been out of here. I'd have been out of this earth in secondary school without her, but I was very lucky to have her as my safe place, somewhere I could disappear to whenever shit gets too loud. Like,
never wanna do what I'm told, even if I mess it all up and make a million mistakes.
Danny's pre-chorus comes in to solidify this theme of defiance, right? They aren't concerned about making mistakes as long as they're living authentically. This is all about owning your own decisions even if they lead to failure. The chorus by Sophie and Lara truly reinforces this idea. This line is yelling and shouting and screaming about the importance of personal agency. Like I said in my reaction video for My Way, it's given despite whatever happens, at least I can say I decided for myself what to do with my life and whatever choices made were my own. Life is truly so much happier when you follow this philosophy. I mean, if you truly sit down and think about what your morals and views of this crazy world are and how these things impact the way you may feel about yourself or others, once you realize this and follow your life on your own terms, it becomes much easier. I promise you guys, it becomes much easier. I mean, it's still hard. I'm still struggling. But once I realized that, it unlocked like this whole other part of me where I'm just like, bitch, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want. As long as I'm not hurting no one, move for me. Like, the fuck. Think what you want to think, do what you want to do, and most importantly, just try to find joy in everything that you do, yeah? As someone who literally fights every day to make sure my mental illness doesn't destroy me, I'm telling you guys right now, learning this was the best thing that happened to me. This line is a slight callback to Yoonchae saying she waits for her girls to pull up in their dad's M3.
And Megan's car is M3.
Nice. That's great. That was great.
To me, it could also be seen as a metaphor of the girls driving fast towards a life ruled by their own choices. The imagery in these lines add to this carefree, unstoppable energy.
Big curls and they all stare.
In the second verse, Daniela and Manon reflect on trying to fit into societal molds.
Yeah, try to fit in your box of pink Barbie dolls.
This line highlights the pressure to conform to specific gender roles or ideals. On the surface, it could be about European beauty standards. The use of Barbie dolls and curly hair is kind of what leads me to believe this. When you think of a Barbie doll, who do you immediately picture? And now people are gonna say, well, I had a black Barbie. I mean, we all had a black Barbie. Common, like, if we're really talking about who is the face of Barbie. So I really love that they gave this line to Dani, someone who has mentioned that she used to hate her curls and would straighten her hair all the time to try and fit in, but now she fully embraces her curls. There was a moment at one of the mall performances where she had a speech and it actually made me tear up a bit because you can truly see that she really meant that. Like, she truly went through this, and this is something that a lot of curly haired girls go through.
In high school, I didn't really, embrace my curls. I would straighten my hair, but,
No.
So I know a lot of people say Manon should have got this line, and she can probably relate to this a lot as well, but it really just matched them both, and the way both of their lines feed off each other works so beautifully that I really feel like they made the right choice.
I still couldn't win them all.
At this point of the song, the girls are just conveying that they realised that even after trying to fit in, they still didn't succeed in gaining acceptance. This helps to reinforce the song's message of embracing individuality over conformity.
Kinda miss being young, dumb and naive, 'cause now I realize growing up and what it seems.
This line speaks to the sheer disappointment that is adulthood, right? Like, you spend your whole life before you're 18 wanting to grow, and then it hits you and you're like, bitch, never mind, take me back. I want to go back to work. Just fucking stick my finger in my nose and pass out at 2 p.m. or whatever, and it was fine and no one got on my back for it. For me, that was when I was 16. I was like, no girl, I don't want to do this shit no more. Take me back. But I did get orphaned at 15, so but that's another story. Anyways, like I said in my reaction, ain't this the damn truth? There's been so many times I wish I could go back to being a child, but I didn't have to worry about a damn thing, which is kind of funny and also ironic, because as a child you so badly want to be grown up so you can break out of whatever box that society or your parents are trying to fucking shove you into. Manuel's line adds more depth to the song's theme of independence.
So now I just live for today, and if I make a couple mistakes,
to me, Myra really mixes like this youthful, rebellious spirit with honest thoughts on the challenges of growing up. The song really encourages listeners to stand up for themselves and embrace their individuality and push back against pressures to fucking conform in this dog shit, boring, bland, low down world.
like a firework showing up over your town.
Who doesn't love a firework metaphor, right? You can get every... Wait, that is the wrong song. Katy Perry is what I'm thinking about.
Even if it all burns out.
The metaphor also encapsulates this idea of shining bright, being unique, and making an impact. This aligns perfectly with the song's central message that it's better to live authentically, boldly, and brightly, even if it doesn't lead to long-term success, rather than conforming and fading away silently.
Yeah, I did it my way. Gotcha, like a moth to the flame.
August 16th wasn't just the Myra lyric video, it's the day that their debut EP Sis dropped and the marketing was in full effect, okay? Interviews with the Recording Academy, NME gave it a 4 out of 5 and the sales were looking solid. Prior to their EP dropping, they had some magazine interviews as well. Teen Vogue was actually on their debut single day. Before I dive a little deeper into the marketing, let me pause quickly to talk about the actual physical album. Okay, please mind my hair change. I could have just put B-roll over this, but I wanted to show you guys my personal albums, okay? So the albums are literally gorgeous, okay? I love the blue and pink the most, of course, because look at me. But the purple and green is also cool. It's also very pretty and it's very cat's-eye too. It was very, very genius that you have to put two of them together to make the cat's eye. Like so. Like if you put it on a bookcase or something, it will look like this. I can't wait to get a fucking bookcase. I have a bookcase there, but it's behind, so you guys can't see shit on it. But I would love if it was like just whoop, like that'd be so cute, but oh well. And I think the quality of the album booklet, whatever the fuck you call this shit, it's so fucking nice. I really love the way it feels in my hands. Is that weird? I don't know, I don't really care, but I really love it. And I also love how weighty they are. Like it's a lot of stuff. Like it just feels, it feels nice. I don't know, it feels nice. I love how weighty it is, despite that meaning that the shipping was ridiculous. And I also, this is so weird, but I love the way it smells. I just got foundation on a fucking page. Oh, rip this page. And they look so cunt. I just love new book smell. Oh my god, it smells nice. The pages, literally everything. To me, this screams budget. Like it's pretty high quality, I would say. Like I feel like the pages could be better quality, but the amount of stuff you get in it, the graphic design, everything. Only annoying thing about it is like this, like because it's like this hardback type thing. But I also love that because I just love the way hardback feels personally. So cute. I love the pictures. The pictures, the graphic design, everything in these albums are so nice. And I love the color palette, the color scheme of this one a lot. Okay, so remember back in the debut lyric analysis, I said that the line, "No, this ain't a debut," was a self-fulfilling prophecy because they are basically saying they're ready to dominate from the start, right? Hype X Geffen was not playing because they are doing everything they can to market these girls to the wider audience. So I physically don't have the brainpower to put them all in chronological order, so I'm just going to list by country, okay? This will show almost all the marketing that's been done and also the promo that KATSEYE have had in the USA versus anywhere else, because some losers keep saying that they're only promoting to a K-pop audience and Korea, and why that's such a bad idea when 1, they're literally pushing KATSEYE to anyone who wants to listen. 2, it's actually smart to get a solid K-pop audience first because yes, K-pop fans are bloody annoying, and they're why KATSEYE have even had so much controversy on social media for the dumbest of shit, because people keep using K-pop standards or K-pop etiquette and putting it on this fucking Western global girl group just because they're trained in K-pop methodologies and they're under a collaboration with Hype, okay? Why do some people keep acting like getting a solid K-pop fan base while promoting everywhere else is not smart? Like, of course people who are already interested in K-pop will be drawn to them because they already have almost every upside of a K-pop group. The content, the performances, choreo, etc. Like without the downside of having to learn another language. And guys, I'm sorry, I'm trying to learn Korean, okay? I'm just unserious. And also I recently discovered that my mild dyslexia actually makes it harder for me to learn another language. So that's super fun. Anyways, that's not all. Like, it's also great to be able to just watch KATSEYE content while I'm busy doing something, you know, and I don't have to be completely tuned in and tapped in and completely locked into the subtitles and Also, if I believe that KATSEYE's target audience is like 15 to 30, it might be 15 to 25, but I'm 27, so I put it up to 30 for me. So if this is the age range, it kind of makes sense that they target the K-pop audience, because if you're in that age range, you might already be into K-pop. And even if you're not into K-pop, people forget that a lot of us hags, yeah, the ones who have money to spend on a girl group, literally grew up in the girl group boom, especially if it was Western girl groups like me. For example, I was born during the Destiny's Child era, yeah. I went to primary school in the Pussycat Dolls era, and I was in secondary school in the Little Mix era. Literally, I went through my life with girl groups. So this is why, despite being a mini K-pop fan, KATSEYE really appealed to me a lot, and I'm sure other older people all feel the same. And this is also another reason why I feel like the survival show was a great idea, because I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks that being able to be a part of the process that formed this groundbreaking group is something so cool, right? Like, does that really matter in the grand scheme of life? Like, oh, I got to vote on the KATSEYE members? No, but it matters to me, okay? And so that's all that fucking matters. Enough about the adults, enough about the hags, yeah? If we're talking about the younger people who didn't get to experience this Western girl group boom in real time, may or may not be K-pop fans, and so they will get to experience this feeling with KATSEYE. Okay, right, sorry, I said I was gonna list all the promo activities, but I just got onto yapping. Okay, so please note, a couple of these interviews happened pre-debut, and some of these things listed may be upcoming, depending on when this video is uploaded. I have no fucking idea. Everything might have already happened, you know, because we're currently in a little bit of a drought. This is almost all the global marketing KATSEYE has done so far, and thank you so much to I don't know how to pronounce the username. The VGs? I don't feel like it's that, but I'll put her username on here. Thank you so much. She's the one that put together this list that I'm just going to be reading out very lazily. She did God's work for real. God bless you. I added maybe 2 more items that I remembered, but if there are any missed, please comment below.
Let's begin now.
Korea, Music Bank, M Countdown, Music Core, After School Club, Weekly Idol, Fan Meeting.
You're always looking forward to the moment where you can meet your fans, and then when you actually get to meet them, it's always a reminder of how our hard work is paying off.
Japan, Venue 101, CDTV Live, Interview on Mezamashi TV, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, oh my god, with Music Japan, Vogue Japan, Nylon Japan, what the fuck, Macanese? Nylon Japan, what the fuck is wrong with me? Guys, do you see this dyslexia? I can't read magazine. What the hell? Okay. Nylon Japan magazine cover. Magazines. What the fuck? Japan MTV Music Award 2024. High Touch event.
I didn't expect to have so many fans here. It's insane to see the support all around the globe. It's just such a blessing.
Philippines. Wish Bus. Videos with Filipino YouTubers. It's Showtime. And they of course did the huge mall showcase there. In the UK... You need a lead. They did a little BuzzFeed UK interviews. Thank you so much, girls. Come to the UK.
Hopefully we get to go to the UK soon.
This is not a drill.
In the USA, they did KCON in Los Angeles, Mama in Los Angeles, Mall of America, People vs. Food on YouTube, React on YouTube, The Kelly Clarkson Show, Jingle Ball, 2 dates, Boston and Dallas, Good Morning America, Vivo's DSCVR Artist to Watch 2025, I think it's actually Discover, but you know, Fan Cafe event, iHeartRadio interview, iHalo Crunch event, Billboard interview on Still Watching Netflix YouTube channel, Lyrics and Meaning on Genius's YouTube channel, Kiss FM interview, Z100 New York interview, interview mag photo shoot, In Style magazine photo shoot and interview, Billboard magazine photo shoot, LA Times magazine cover and interview, V magazine interview and photo shoot, New York Fashion Week, which was so fun because literally no one knew they were coming and they still had people saying KATSEYE, KATSEYE.
Oh my god, KATSEYE!
Much Music interview, Wonderland magazine interview, American Eagle partnership, Santa Monica Pier, Hype Bay magazine interview, Teen Vogue interview, NME magazine interview, Apple Music interview, Hits Radio interview, KATSEYE X LA Rams poll, Netflix documentary, Empire State Building promo, Days magazine interview, Gentry Chow versus the Underworld soundtrack on Netflix, their Halloween Winx Club outfits. And I know some people will be like, huh, but seriously, those outfits absolutely helped market and promote them, as it went viral on multiple social media platforms, and it had people being like, oh, the Netflix adaptation should have done outfits like these, and literally Allure interview, Manon's Essence interview. A really recent one they've just done was MTV Push, and a fan event at the El Rey Theatre. And speaking of the fan event at the El Rey Theatre, this was actually the first of KATSEYE'S fan events for icons, and it took place on August 20th, which was 4 days after their EP released. Smart, again, because it gave fans enough time to know the songs and enjoy the girls' performances. This was also just a day before Dream Academy dropped, and I just shuddered. But seriously guys, is Hypex Geffen kind of playing 4D chess? Because August 20th, fan event, yeah. The next day, August 21st, social media gets flooded with the drama that occurred in Dream Academy. But you know what's also alongside those posts? The performances of KATSEYE in those gorgeous pink outfits at the fan event going viral. What a perfect storm. I could scroll TikTok and get a video about how the girls hate each other, and the next a video of them holding hands on stage. Like, talk about whiplash. Whiplash. Things I just want to note about this show. 1, the pink outfits from this day are in my top 3, maybe top 2, maybe top 1 KATSEYE outfits of all time, okay? 2, they performed Debut, Touch and My Way, which was their first time performing the song after they dropped the lyric video. 3, the lyric videos for My Way, Tonight I Might and I'm Pretty was showed for fans early, but on debut EP day, those videos went up for everyone on YouTube. I would have loved if they would have performed all songs. We still haven't had a performance of I'm Pretty, which breaks my soul because it's their best song. To me, okay, to me. But thank the Lord, because we were able to get a performance of Tonight I Might when they did their Jingle Ball performances. This was the first time they've ever performed them, and I hope we keep seeing more performances of Tonight I Might. And I need I'm Pretty. I need I'm Pretty. Please, hi, please, Geffen, please, someone give me I'm Pretty. As of recently, KATSEYE have done 2 more performances. Let's go to the one in the Philippines that boasts 9k people were there, bitch. And Mall of America where 8k people attended, man. Now, I was shocked by the Philippines, okay? But America shocks me even more. You see, the thing is, of course, me not living in the country, it's kind of hard to gauge how popular KATSEYE is on their home turf, right? They're definitely little Nugu in the UK, but I still hope they come here so they can stop being Nugu here, thank you. But seriously, the mall attendances were nuts, okay? Both of them were packed. The things that made me giggle were people saying they were riding the escalators up and down trying to get a good view of the performance. People came 4 hours early and still didn't get clear views. I think, like me, Hypex Geffen underestimated how people would show up for this event. A Twitter thread was actually made by a person detailing their experience at the Mall of America. It basically says that it was kind of a mess and it was their worst concert experience ever due to Mall of America's alleged bad security. So yeah, a very crazy event. I mean, the demand to see these girls is just so high. KATSEYE and Hypex Geffen are knocking it out of the park. Every expectation I set for these girls is constantly superseded. I mean, it's crazy. And I think Hypex Geffen, guys, you need to stop doing malls now. I think where the demand is higher, they should start doing small fan concerts. That would make way more sense than trying to fit these poor people into a small space, trying to get any view they can of KATSEYE. Like, seriously, what the hell is going on? But if KATSEYE want to come to the UK, they should still do a mall here, absolutely, because again, my babies are new here. As of September 21st, KATSEYE embarked on their mini promotional Asia tour where they also went to Korea, the Philippines and finished in Japan. These events were so fun and also crucial, and I'll show you why. Clips from various moments of the event went viral, and these clips range from moments where they're on stage showing their talents and moments where they're just simply showing what funny and personable people they are. In Korea, they got to promote in the top music shows that I mentioned before in the marketing section: Music Bank, M Countdown, Music Core, which the performances and the fan cams went viral on social media, of course. My favorite out of these was obviously M Countdown. I mean, the outfits and the stage was so beautiful. The mics were not on though, but it was gorgeous for my eyes, right? They also appeared on After School Club, which every idol group has been on at some point, and they also went to Weekly Idol. Yoontae got to go home and spend this time with her family, which I'm so happy for her as the youngest and only minor. This time is very, very important for her. The time in Korea also allowed them to film TikTok challenges with other notable K-pop groups like Hamdun from &1, Promise 9.
And Megan was showing me the TikTok and then she said, oh, look, it's Promise 9. She said, Promise 9.
Oh, Promise 9 Whip Girlies. And Miss Jennifer from Le Seraphim. They also did a cute fan sign. My fave moments are, of course, Dano moments. 1, someone speaking Spanish to Danny. And 2, someone telling Mano they got arrested.
This police officer, like, he pulled me over. He wrote this to me. Can you, like, translate it?
KATSEYE's first performance in the Philippines was on It's Showtime. This was so fun to watch despite not knowing what the hell was going on. My fellow Mew told me that it was the first time she had watched the show since she was young, but she's so locked into KATSEYE that she tuned in. Shout out Jilly. They also had a performance on Wish Bars, and about that I just have to say, first, thank you Wish Bars. Second, fuck you high because I know it was you, bitch. Enough of the backtrack, okay? Please, don't you trust these girls to be able to hold a note while they're not dancing? Please be serious, man. But at least they look gorgeous. And it's so funny, again, I wrote this script ages ago, so they clearly do trust them enough to hold a note while they're not dancing because they did it during the Tonight I'm Right performances at the Jingle Bell Ball. But still, why you had my girls on Wish Bars auto-tuned the fuck up? The fuck? Anyways, what made this Philippines stop even more special was Sophia got to go home for the first time in 2 to 3 years and see her dad. Like, she hadn't seen her dad in so long. 3 out of the 6 of the KATSEYE mothers were there as well. And Sophia's mum revealed that they're all in a group chat and have a pact that no matter what country they go to, there will always be at least one mother with them.
So we're the KATSEYE mamas, and we're just so proud of our daughters, and we call each one of them our daughters. So we make a pact that whichever country they go to, there should always be a mom.
This is true that all the moms are like supposed to be going everywhere.
As much as we can, we would like to, because everything is so new to our daughters. At the end of the day, they're our baby girls, and we just want to make sure that, you know, they feel safe.
Period. Honestly, hearing this made me actually tear up because what an incredible thing for these girls to be able to have support from people who truly have their best interests in mind because they don't work with them or hold their paycheck. Especially as young women and girls, the support from their mothers will be invaluable as they navigate an industry that is undeniably harsher on women. Their guidance and encouragement will play such a crucial role in helping them face these challenges. Sophia's mother also says that they have 6 moms now, and I truly love how the mothers are doing everything they can to ensure that the girl group will be a comfortable environment for them all and truly a family unit. Their last stop on this Asia tour was in Japan and they performed on Japanese TV and had a lot of interviews. Now, despite mentioning it in the Philippines stop, this is when Megan actually starts sitting out for her back injury, so she wasn't there for Venue 101. But Meg joins them at their high touch event at Shibuya, hopefully I said that right, Shibuya Tower, and it's adorable as Hinari from Dream Academy came. They also got to film TikToks with different Japanese girl groups, and a specific girl group 5 they collaborated with after one of them begged for it on social media. And honestly, they're so funny on social media if it is actually them and not an intern. Like, they really remind me of KATSEYE a lot in that aspect. The Asia tour was really crazy because a majority of music show fan cams went viral. Re-uploads of Weekly Idol has 100k plus views. And just to top it off, this channel that I love, by the way, who makes very, very good edits of KATSEYE, Anna, she made videos about the Asia tour and the lives they did, and look at the views, man. It's nuts. Very, very crazy for a newly debuted group. And all you have to do is scroll down KATSEYE chart 6 on Twitter to see all the different charts around the world that KATSEYE is popping up on. Touch peaked at 14 in Philippines Billboard. The gag, bitch. And like I said earlier, KATSEYE debuted 119 on Billboard 200. But their sis EP also debuted number 6 on the top album sales chart, number 44 on the Artist 100, number 1 on the Heat Seekers albums chart, and number 1 on the Emerging Artist chart of Billboard. Jesus Christ, all these fucking charts. They're on some charts, they're on a lot of charts, alright guys, they're charting all over the place, and they're gonna continue charting, alright? KATSEYE's mini Asia tour is what made me realise, oh yeah, KATSEYE is for real about to be the next big thing. Like, they have what it takes to capture the hearts of so many different people around the world. KATSEYE's debut era has been about catchy songs, impressive performances, fun TikToks and Weverse live, plus they've really been making waves with smart marketing strategies and connecting with fans all around the globe. It's actually quite fun to see how they blend K-pop influences with their own unique charm, appealing to both long-time K-pop fans and those new to the scene. From their viral performances to heartfelt fan events, KATSEYE is consistently and continuously building a community that feels genuine and exciting. Like, being an icon is so much fucking fun, guys. Writing the script was so much fucking fun. Being a part of their journey is literally so much fucking fun, and that's why I truly believe they're gonna be the next big thing. KATSEYE isn't just another girl group, man. They're about to be a blood clot force to be Ross Clark reckoned with.
Love you so much and have a great rest of your night.
What I hope in terms of music and performance. So I hope the girls take more of an active role in their music with focus on developing their live singing and dancing skills. I'd love for them to minimize the lip syncing and use backing track only as guides for moments when they like need to catch their breath or whatever. But all the members have tried live singing and dancing in various performances. I believe they have more potential to tap into, and I'm optimistic that they still have time to grow. 2 of their best performances doing this currently, in my opinion, is their performance of Debut at Music Bank, where the mics were on and Megan was cooking perfect ordinary, and the performance on After School Club, where the mics were absolutely on and you could hear absolutely everything, and I loved hearing their natural tones and their natural voices.
Makes you sing close tonight.
I would also love for the girls to have more input into their music, especially Mano and Lara, as they have both expressed interest in songwriting and producing respectively.
I mean, I like to write songs because it makes me feel good, but I hope that maybe one day I get to make other people feel good too with that.
Just making beats and also writing songs, and we all love to make music.
But this is what I have for right now.
Play, I don't play with your game. I just do it my way. Hey.
On our own too, so definitely eventually we'll start doing more. We'll see that, yeah.
Okay, well,
mainstream Western audiences really mess with fun, witty and relatable, which is why I feel like Touch was their biggest hit currently. But we need to take Touch, right? And we need to now elevate it. So having the girls have input into their music will definitely help with this relatability factor. It would also be amazing for them to draw more cultural influences into the music, similar to what Black Swan did with Karma. Each member of Cat's Eye has a rich cultural background that has influenced the world in some way, shape or form, right? So references to these heritages in their music would be such a wonderful touch. For example, maybe like a song where they all say a line in their mother tongue, or they all have the same phrase that they say at the end of their line, which means the same thing but it's all in their languages. Like, for example, this is cheesy and I couldn't think of anything else, it's just an example, but for example, someone could say I love you, then Danny's like ti amo, and then Sophia's like mahal kita. I hope I said that right. Julie, I love you. That would be cute. Or another way I would like to see this incorporated is full tracks inspired by the girls' backgrounds, featuring popular or classical musical instruments from each culture. I really feel like this could be a fun and enriching direction for their music.
Do you think you could create music based on your culture one day?
Ooh. Yes, of course.
That's on our bucket list.
Yeah.
And that's definitely something that we want to bring, not just once, but we want to have it as part of Cat's Eye.
Like maybe soon in the future we could all like make music and sing in our languages.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be beautiful.
Add like the little like sounds in the back. Drums. Yeah.
They are one of the only groups in the K-pop, let's just call them K-pop adjacent bitches, don't come for me. They're one of the only groups that could really do this and go full out with their concepts and not have it be like cultural appropriation, right? Because at least someone who actually cares about the culture would be involved in the process of making this music. Using any of the girls' cultural backgrounds to make music would set them apart from a lot of the music industry, as they can use these sounds authentically. Next, Hype. I need a fucking bridge, Hype, I need a fucking bridge. Give me a fucking bridge, Hype. I need a Lara Sophia bridge with a gaggy high note. Why are you robbing me of this? I will not be able to die happy until this happens, man. I also need Megan and Danny to get a crazy dance break, as Sophia's mentioned before that we haven't seen the half of what they can do. And I believe that because if you just look at what they were doing in Dream Academy or Popstar Academy, they were going off. So I'm hoping, I'm praying, because they're going to Mama soon. Hopefully this video will be out. So I'm hoping that they have a dance break during the Mama performance. It's their first live award show performance, so I hope it goes off. Now, in terms of producers for Cat's Eye, the main one I really would love them to work with is them joints, right? I need to hear incoming before Cat's Eye start going crazy. It would be so fucking sick. It would also be so good to see more collabs with Western artists, but K-pop artists too. People I would personally love to see them collab with, ranking from kind of possible to kind of impossible, but we can dream, right? So, Le Sserafim, Olivia Rodrigo, Binny. Binny would be so fun, such a gag. I love Binny. I will get into them one day. I just need to get my thoughts. Sorted. Okay. Sabrina Carpenter, Megan Thee Stallion, and of course Beyonce. And two of my favorite groups that I would just love to see them collab with is of course the OGs, Black Swan and my girls XG. Like, I need a global group link up stat, guys, please. What can I do? Who do I pay? Who do I give it to? Also, the girls have also consistently mentioned these names as people they would want to collab with, and the names they mentioned, I would also like to see it.
Who would you love to collab with?
Beyonce.
I know you said, yeah, you
She
clearly
always
said
says
Beyonce.
I definitely said Beyonce. Rosalia, Olivia Rodrigo, Rihanna, and Pharrell. IU,
Ariana Grande. I learned so much from her just growing up listening to her music.
So what I hope in terms of content, number one, more Weverse lives, because they can just be themselves. Unlike the professional lives they did on YouTube for their debut and EP, they've been doing lives quite frequently, which I'm loving, because it's clear they're enjoying being able to be crazy and interact with fans without the constraints, right? And it's allowing them to showcase their amazing personalities, which is helping them gain even more fans.
That's why I dog right.
Don't fart. Like, have you guys ever seen?
Cat's Eye does fart.
We don't ever.
What
do
even
that.
is a fart?
Girls don't do that.
Sino
So,
mo to?
I don't know what that is.
I am
I'm not good at English because I'm dyslexic, so I can't spell.
I can't read.
I'm dyslexic.
Too, it'd be great to see more vlogs too, like the pre-debut content, a travel variety show or something would be cute too. Like, while writing the script, there still has not been any vlogs from their Asia tour. I'm just not trying to rant about it again, but hi babes, get from when I catch you, hi babes, get from where are the Asia tour vlogs? Girl, be calm.
I'm so used to giving, and now I
get to receive. 3. I would also love to see official dance and singing covers on their channel to be able to capture more fans and showcase more skills that could be hidden with the discography that they have now. Like, no shade, because I love those songs, but seriously, the songs are easy for these girls, especially Megan and Danny when it comes to dance, and especially Lara and Sophia when it comes to the vocals. I'm so used to giving, and now I get to receive. Just overall, I want to see more live performances, so there's more opportunities for them to showcase their incredible talents. But of course, they're only 5 months old at this point, so there's still a lot of time. This is just me speaking about the future, yeah? And a kind of crazy, not even a hope or wish, but something I want to throw out here, it would be kind of cool. I guess it is a hope and a wish. It'd be really cool if Netflix did like a little 1 hour follow-up, even a half an hour follow-up documentary about them. Like, we need to show people they're all good now and they're ready to take on the world. Like, it's actually so sick how the documentary ends like that. It's so sick. I just want to reiterate that I would just want more Cat's-Eye only Netflix content with no mention of that process at all, except for maybe quick 1 minute intro recap at the beginning of it, right? In my perfect world, Dream Academy would have had 1 more episode or like 20 more minutes in the finale where we could just see the girls interacting a bit more before the move-in day, and then boom, they could have ripped off the whole move-in day video from the Cat's-Eye YouTube. Like, what is going on? Now, my hopes for the distant future for Cat's-Eye. Big stages like Coachella would be great once they're able to comfortably sing and dance at the same time while knowing how to utilize the backing track, okay? Hype scares me though, because, well, it's been shown they don't really care too much about being able to do this. Like, no shade. Facts are facts though, unfortunately. And so, yes, like I said, I would love them to do more bigger stages, but I need them to develop their vocal dance capabilities first. Cat's-Eye are actually going to perform at Jingle Ball, which will help them on their way to Catsella's stage, as well as, like I mentioned before, Mama will also help them a lot with this. I mean, the more live performance practice they get, the better they will be. It's just as simple as that. I hope the Cats can somehow come to the UK, man, and do festivals and promotions here. Why are you? We're in the West too, hello. I know our island is small and dookie and it stinks, but we are here, Cat's-Eye. Hello, please come visit us. Despite me having disgusting anxiety, I can barely do concerts, so festivals would actually spin me off. But like I said, I can just be my best friend, so Cat's-Eye, come. I also need to see them on K-Star Next Door when they go back to Korea for the next EP promotions. It'd be hard because Yoonchae would probably be speaking a lot and have to help translate for them with Jonathan, but I need to see them interact with him. Like, actually, Jonathan recently had Matthew and Hanbin from ZB1 to help him interview will.i.am, so perhaps he could do this with Cat's-Eye too, like get an English-speaking idol maybe, like Fatu. Also, I have no idea where to put this in the script, so I'm just gonna put it here. I need a Black Swan link up ASAP, a Black Swan collab, a Black Swan link up, a Black Swan anything. I need Black Swan involved with these girls somehow. Please, leak. Another thing I didn't know where to put in the script, so I'll just put it here, is merch. Oh my god, we need updated merch, okay? I don't know who they think is wearing this stuff. No shade to anyone that's bought it, okay? But come on, Hybex Geffen, we need much cuter and gaggier things. None of the current merch screams Cat's-Eye to me, despite it having their logo or whatever on it, which is just so boring. So some merch I would like to see. Cute bracelets or necklaces with their dream charms or of the Cat's-Eye logo. We need cuter tops, okay? The tops they wore in the touch dance practice would be so cute. We could buy the members' names or ones that just say icon on it. Where are the dolls, Hybex Geffen? You guys just made a prototype only. Like, what is the point? Where are the dolls? Also, the culture dolls that are in the back of Touch's music video, where are they at? Shout out to Diamond for giving me this wonderful idea because she bought me a Cat's-Eye blanket for my Xmas gift, and I'm wondering where the fuck is the official Cat's-Eye blankets? Also, where the season greetings at? I guess we can get some next year, maybe. I guess. Season greetings, please. Can I get a Cat's-Eye calendar and stuff? And also, more photo cards, man. The way Megan Thee Stallion randomly just dropped packs of them, they could do something like that. Just drop like seasonal packs maybe and make it like exclusive to the Cat store. So we could have like a winter pack and a spring pack. You could only get in those seasons. So like right now it's winter 2025. So it'd be like winter 2024 to 2025. And this would be like the only time ever that you could get these specific photo cards and see these specific photos, right? It'd be like exclusives. They should do that. I would love for the girls to do a VMA performance also once the group as a whole is a bit more mature. Because if you look at what be going on in the VMAs recently, I do not need my little Yoonchae on the stage next to any of those degenerates. That was a joke. I love them. And do you know what? I would of course love for my cats to win Grammys. That's in the distant future though. I just really wish the best for this groundbreaking group, and I really hope they continue to soar. Cat's-Eye's unique positioning as a multinational and multi-ethnic girl group can allow them to tap into diverse markets and audiences, which I hope will make them a significant part in the evolving landscape of K-pop and pop music. With their growing fan base and increasing visibility, the potential for their future success is immense. Do you think Hybex Geffen ate this debut era up, or do you think they could have done more? If so, how? I would really love to know. Also, what do you think or hope is next for the girls? Just let me know all your thoughts in the comments below, guys. If anything I've said resonates with you in this video, let me know as well. If you guys like my little look analyses of Debut, Touch and My Way, let me know, and I might do I'm Pretty and tonight I might. Tell me what you think about my ramblings. Thank you guys so much for being here as I yapped about KATSEYE'S debut era. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like and comment. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you really fuck with this, don't forget to share the video. I kind of forget that people can share videos, but if you liked it that much, feel free to share it. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, keep finding the joy in everything you do, bitches. I'll see you next time. Bye.